Every unit has its legends, but few have arcs like this. From Foxtrot Grunt to Company Commander, from Reformer to Exile, Mintt's story is one of rise, rebellion, redemption, and ruin. He was a symbol of strength, building one of the most disciplined and combat-capable companies of the 327th. His leadership style was sharp, effective, and divisive. What followed was a slow fracture. Mintt would fight for his battalion, push for changes, challenge upper leadership, and walk the tightrope between loyalty and independence. And as the cracks would widen, the system turned on him. This is the Mintt arc. Before we dive in, only a small percentage of you watching these videos are actually subscribed. So if you're into exposes on Roblox Star Wars drama, corruption in the 327th, and the rise and fall of controversial figures like Mintt, hit that like button and subscribe. It's free, and you can always unsubscribe later. Chapter 1. Early Days and First Promotion. Mintt started in 1st Platoon, later transferring to Foxtrot Company, where his dedication made him known among the troops. Through consistent grinding, he caught the attention of leadership. On August 18, 2023, Mintt earned the role of Alt Company Sergeant, alongside Chevelle Dog 43. However, his rise wasn't without setbacks. After failing to complete the trial sergeant program, he was quickly demoted. But when someone stepped down again, Mintt reclaimed his position quickly. Over time, Mintt climbed again and became company lieutenant of Foxtrot. Chapter 3. The First True Comeback. In June, Coffee Cat 243 left the 327th Star Corps. Mintt was chosen to become minor officer of Foxtrot, with distrust overwhelmed by internal problems. Mintt took full reins and led the company by de facto rule. In August, following the failure of Draco Knight's officer on trial, K Company turned furious. Distrust took over K Company, while Mintt became officer on trial of Foxtrot. The K Company backlash spiraled into blame. Mintt and Upper High Com were accused of wrongdoing and possible corruption. Some believe that Zircon free-ranked Mintt and wrongfully terminated Draco Knight. It was rumored that this moment birthed Operation Lemon, a protest campaign that died quickly after its leaders were community banned. On August 18, 2023, just 2 weeks later, Mintt officially became company commander of Foxtrot. Chapter 4. Redemption and Domination. From the start, Mintt had seen the cracks in Foxtrot, in which he blamed Bankworm for. He vowed to end the company's reputation as a lackey unit. As company commander, he initiated a full revival. He called upon Parker, or Chevelle Dog 43, and other loyal veterans to rejoin Foxtrot, forming what would become one of the most active leaderships in recent GAR history. The weekly event count went from 70 to 100 events, even during school periods. Foxtrot's roster went from 50 to 60 members during GAR's lowest activity period, and Foxtrot was reborn, powerful, efficient, and alive. Mintt didn't want to stop there. He handpicked elite players, brokered deals, and absorbed most of Hawkbat's elite talent into Foxtrot. With scrims becoming a new priority, Minter and Parker led the charge, officially forming a Foxtrot monopoly over the 327th Star Corps. Chapter 5. Burnout and Collapse. But not all glory lasts forever. Parker, the heart of Mintt's leadership team, was denied the minor officer rank by HighCom, despite his efforts. Mintt defended him, fighting upper leadership to no avail. Demoralized, Parker resigned. With his departure, Mintt's morale and momentum crumbled, and his monopoly over the 327th Star Corps and his Foxtrot empire would begin to collapse. By February 2024, Mint had had enough. He warned HICOM of his possible departure, and with less energy, he began to fool around. His antics included trolling, raiding, and team-killing his own fellow troopers. Eventually, Commander Bly, I. Brolin, had had enough, and he orchestrated his demise. I. Brolin reached out in his DMs requesting, make a resignation post. Say you chose to leave. Mint, knowing he was at fault, reluctantly agreed and stepped away from the 327th. Chapter 6. The Fall of Mint. 2 months later, Mint returned. A new purpose burned inside of him, to become Mage 12. He rejoined his Hawkbat leadership, determined to reshape it like he'd done so with Foxtrot. He began hosting scrims, conducting background checks, recruiting elite players, and reestablishing dominance. Until, on February 20th, 2024, while in the Scrim VC, trying to be humorous, Mint foolishly said a racial slur in the context that he said, "Kill that blank," and someone clipped it. He was shortly community banned afterwards. Chapter 7. Final Return and Fall. On July 17, 2024, Mint was unbanned. Once again, he returned with the same dream to become Major 12. But these had changed. Hawkbat was a mess. Internal conflicts tore the unit apart. Mint wasn't given Hawkbat leadership, not even a place in the company. His former reputation hadn't given him much of a chance. Furious, he left with Jinx Ops and Nicholas 1414 staging a protest against Vaughn. Shortly after, Mint was permanently banned from Roblox, which was possibly organized by the cult of the Evil Society to overturn the 327th in an attempt to silence Mint. With no path back to GAR or the 327th, Mint slipped beneath the waves and disappeared. Conclusion. Mint reshaped Foxtrot, shook the system, and paid the price. Some called him a visionary, others called him a traitor. But all remember the name. His reform sparked change, and his fall sparked debate. This was the Mint arc, a legacy sealed in controversy, but never forgotten. It isn't completely over.